What's going on? This is Chris Moore, Soul Fitness. Had a question asked to me on Instagram last week. Basically asked me what my thoughts were on red meat causing cancer. Just having a little lunch here while I'm talking. Basically, the answer is going to be a little bit more complicated than a lot of you would like. A lot of you would like me to say either yes or no, but I'm not going to say either yes or no. The truth is this. Last year, or not last year, this past May, there was actually a meta-analysis conducted. Meta-analysis is a super powerful tool for figuring out where the science is going because it takes smaller studies, groups them together into larger data pools, and gets better statistical significance. So you can actually get more statistically significant evidence with a larger pool of data. This meta-analysis found that when certain factors were controlled for, meaning lifestyle choices like smoking, drinking, whether or not you were exercising, and whether or not you were eating processed meat with added nitrates and salts, or just fresh meat that wasn't processed, really determined whether or not you were going to get cancer. When they controlled for all of these, they found absolutely no association between fresh red meat consumption and the onset of cancer, right? So in and of itself, red meat does not cause cancer. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that red meat doesn't cause cancer entirely. And this is why. Another study with great statistical significance happened last year from the University of Southern California. Basically, this study looked at protein consumption in people between the ages of 50 and 65, and then 65 or older. And what this study found was that eating more than 20% of your calories or your daily caloric intake from protein sources, animal protein sources, was almost as deadly as smoking when it came to the onset of cancer. So the mechanism that works there is that if you're eating ultra high amounts of protein, you have more insulin-like growth factor 1 floating around through your system. Insulin-like growth factor 1 is one of those things that helps to turn on cancer cells. So people who are eating ultra high protein diets are actually at a higher risk of getting cancer than people who smoke, according to this study. I'm not saying that that's actually the case. You want to take studies with a grain of salt, but according to this study, they found that there was a higher risk of getting cancer for people who ate ultra high amounts of protein than those people who smoked. So what's the deal? And how should you take this? Well, one, you don't necessarily have to stop eating red meat. If you eat it in moderate amounts, along with a healthy lifestyle, and you're exercising, you're not smoking, you're not drinking, the science demonstrates that you're probably not going to get cancer. On the other hand, if you are eating ultra high amounts of protein, meaning you're eating that 1 gram to 2 gram per pound of body weight that all the bozos are recommending to you, then there is definitely a higher chance that you can get cancer. I say bozos lovingly because I used to be a bozo too, and these are just people who haven't really been enlightened yet, and so I'm not trying to be mean or anything like that. But that recommendation is way too high for health purposes. And the evidence actually demonstrates that you don't really need that much protein to build muscle. So if you're trying to build muscle, you should have at least 0.5 grams of protein per pound of body weight. And at the most you probably need, if you're going through really stressful workouts and doing a lot of different types of trainings, maybe 0.75 grams of protein per pound of body weight. And I've done a blog on that before as well. I've also written a blog about today's subject, and I will link it below. I want you to definitely check that out so you can check out these studies that I've mentioned. Don't trust me here on YouTube. I'm just a talking head. You should be researching everything that I tell you about, finding out for yourself, and actually examining whether or not I'm true. I want you to check up on me. I want you to make sure that I'm actually delivering the truth to you, and you really shouldn't trust anybody here on YouTube, including me. So if you've got questions for me though, hit me up at gettingshredded@gmail.com. Check out the blog I've written in the link in the description box below, and I'm gonna sit here and I'm actually gonna eat my lunch, which is actually grass-fed beef and a whole bunch of baby bok choy. All right.